Welcome to the Farmers Market Nutrition Assistance Programs. I will be describing an overview of the three most common assistance programs found at local farmers markets. The objective of this overview is to enhance awareness of the role farmers markets play in nutrition education, to increase knowledge of three supplemental nutrition programs, which are the Farmers Market Nutrition Program, also referred to as the FMNP, WIC Vegetables and Fruits Checks Program, and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is also known as SNAP. And lastly, to increase outreach related to nutrition assistance programs at farmers markets. What are some things that come to mind when you think of the Farmers Market Nutrition Program? Please take a few minutes to write down a few thoughts. What is the FMNP? It provides checks to WIC participants and low-income seniors to use for locally grown produce and herbs at nearby farmers markets. It provides nutrition education in a variety of settings. This education highlights the importance of fruits and vegetables and to teach the process of selection, storage, and production of fresh local produce. The FMNP increases access to healthy food, supports local agriculture, and an annual benefit of approximately $1,200 per farmer. And lastly, the FMNP supports local economies. Getting involved with the FMNP. Listed on the left-hand column are three examples for farmers to become eligible to participate with the FMNP. Farmers must be considered bona fide farmers. This means any farmer who derives all or part of their livelihood from agricultural enterprises. Another requirement of farmers is to sell produce at FMNP-approved farmers markets and to produce 50% or more by volume of fresh vegetables and fruit offered for sale on market days from June 1st to November 30th. The column on the right-hand side states eligibility requirements of the market. The market must operate in an FMNP-approved location, develop a list of market rules and regulations, including language regarding the FMNP. The market must also provide a list of participating bona fide farmers and the items they will be selling, and to indicate if a farmer who grows vegetables and fruits is accepting FMNP checks. In order to be eligible with the FMNP, the market must provide space for Cornell Cooperative Extension FMNP promotional displays and activities, and lastly, to provide a sufficient variety and amount of locally grown produce. This slide shows a photo of an FMNP application. These applications can be found on the New York State Agriculture and Markets website. A link is provided at the end of this presentation. Listed here are some additional farmer and market manager requirements necessary to get involved with the FMNP. Starting on the left-hand side, the farmer must submit to the market manager an FMNP Farmer Participation Agreement. This may also be mailed to the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. The farmer's official status as a bona fide grower must be signed off by the market manager, and the farmer's crop plan needs to be submitted to the market manager to be kept on file. And then the farmers will receive an authorization package in the mail that will include their FMNP cancellation stamp, stamp pad, farmer ID card. We gladly accept FMNP checks signed, and the approved Farmer Participation Agreement. The market manager is responsible to submit the farmer's market application with a list of bona fide farmers detailing what items are going to be sold to the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. The markets must compile a listing of bona fide farmers and which are accepting FMNP checks. This list must be updated if there are any changes throughout the season, and the markets will receive an authorization package as well in the mail with a market agreement letter which they must sign and return to the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. This is how an FMNP transaction would look at a farmer's market. The participant would locate a farmer sign that states, "We gladly accept New York State Farmers Market checks." He or she picks out the produce and hands the FMNP check to the farmer. Cash may not be given as change, so the farmer may suggest additional items to bring the total to $4. If the total is over $4, the participant may pay the difference with cash, SNAP benefits, or any other form of payment accepted by the farmer, such as a credit or debit card. For example, if a participating consumer would like to buy $5 in produce, they may use a $4 FMNP check plus a $1 wooden SNAP token to pay for the desired items. Here is an example of an official FMNP check acceptance sign, which must be laminated and displayed in a visible location at the farmer's booth. The reimbursement process for the farmer. Once the farmer receives a check, he or she will stamp the check with the official FMNP cancellation stamp provided in the FMNP approval package by the New York State Department of Ag and Markets. The stamped check can be either deposited into a personal checking or savings account, or may only be redeemed for cash at Key Bank of New York. The checks may only be redeemed between June 1st and December 15th of the same year of issuance. However, farmers may not accept checks past November 30th. Some of the farmer's responsibilities include clearly displaying the farmer's market "We gladly accept FMNP checks" signs, post up-to-date prices for produce, only accept FMNP checks in exchange for local vegetables and fruits, offer additional produce to the original selection if less than $4 in order to equal the value of the FMNP check, never discriminate against WIC customers or low-income seniors, stamp all checks legibly with black ink, reapply to the FMNP annually, only accept FMNP checks during the program period, which is June 1st to November 30th, deposit all FMNP checks on or before December 15th, and again exchange only locally grown produce for FMNP checks. This is an example of a WIC FMNP check. And here is an example of a senior FMNP check. Take a few moments to test your knowledge of the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. What is the FMNP? A program that teaches people at farmers markets to eat healthier. B, a farmer development and nutrition education program that provides checks to WIC participants and low-income seniors to use at farmers markets as a way to boost community and economic development. C, a program in which farmers deliver fresh vegetables and fruits to WIC participants' homes. Or D, a program that provides WIC participants with transportation to and from farmers markets. The correct answer is B. The FMNP is a farmer development and nutrition education program that provides checks to WIC participants and low-income seniors to use at farmers markets as a way to boost community and economic development. How will participants know if a market or farmer accepts FMNP checks? A, announcements will be made periodically throughout the market indicating its participation in the FMNP. B, the WIC participants must ask each farmer if they participate before purchasing produce. Or C, participating farmers must clearly hang a colored, laminated sign stating "We gladly accept FMNP checks." The correct answer is C. Participating farmers must clearly hang a colored, laminated sign stating "We gladly accept FMNP checks." True or false? Participants can receive change if they purchase produce that costs less than $4. The correct answer is false. In order to become authorized to accept FMNP checks, which document must a farmer submit to market managers to keep on file? A. An FMNP application. B. The FMNP Farmer Participation Agreement. C. Insurance forms. Or D. The FMNP Crop Plan. The correct answer is the FMNP Crop Plan. True or false? Freshly harvested herbs can be purchased with FMNP checks. The correct answer is true. In what ways could you promote the FMNP in your community? Think about ways you could apply the information you just learned. Please jot down a few ideas you have that could promote FMNP within your community. Here are a few ideas. You could collaborate with local Cornell Cooperative Extension offices to have tables at farmers markets and ask extension educators to promote FMNP with their participants. When doing advertisements for markets, mention which markets accept FMNP checks. And finally, contact local WIC agencies and county offices for the aging to inform them about which markets accept FMNP. What do you know about the WIC Vegetables and Fruits program? Please take a minute to write down a few things you may already know about the WIC Vegetables and Fruits program. It is a supplemental program that gives pregnant or breastfeeding women and WIC children checks to use for vegetables and fruits. Checks may be redeemed at grocery stores and authorized farmers markets. At farmers markets, WIC vegetable and fruit checks can only be used for fresh vegetables and fruits. The checks for this program are distributed year-round on a monthly basis. Here is an example of a WIC vegetable and fruit check that may be used in a grocery store or at an FMNP approved market. What can be purchased? Any fresh, unprocessed fruits and vegetables, as well as canned and frozen fruits and vegetables may be purchased at the grocery store with these checks. However, at the farmers markets, only fresh, unprocessed fruits and vegetables may be purchased.
What cannot be purchased? At this time, fresh herbs cannot be bought using a WIC vegetable fruit check at either a grocery store or a farmer's market. At a farmer's market, you may not purchase canned, frozen, jarred, preserved, or dried vegetables and fruits with these types of checks.
Integrating the WIC Vegetables and Fruits Check program and the farmer's market. The left side describes the responsibilities of the farmer. For example, the farmer must be registered with the FMNP, attend annual training, complete the application process, sign the WIC Vegetable and Fruit Farmer Agreement, and submit the voided checks. In order for the market to be eligible, it must be registered with the FMNP. The transaction process. After recognizing the We Accept WIC check sign, a participant makes selection based on approved fresh local produce. Cash may not be given as change. The participant then must show their WIC ID card, and the farmer must validate the name and expiration date on both the card and WIC check. Then the farmer writes in the total amount of the transaction. If purchase value is less than the amount on the check, the farmer may suggest other items to make up the difference. Next, the WIC participant is required to sign the check in front of the farmer. Farmers should note that the signature matches the participant's signature on their WIC ID. Only one check may be used per transaction. If the total cost of the produce exceeds the check value, the consumer can pay the difference or return the items. This is an example of a We Accept WIC checks for the New York State Supplemental Vegetables and Fruits Program. The reimbursement process. Farmers must legibly stamp each check with their farmer ID number and ensure that the date, signature, and dollar amount of the check has been accurately filled in. Farmers are encouraged to do a test stamp on a piece of scrap paper prior to making an image on the check itself. Checks will bounce if the image is unclear. WIC vegetable and fruit checks can only be deposited into the bank account specified on the farmer's application. They cannot be redeemed for cash. Checks must be deposited 60 days from the expiration date on the check. The farmer is required by the bank to show ID when depositing stamped checks. The correct answer is fresh strawberries. True or false? WIC participants must show their WIC ID when using WIC vegetable and fruit checks to purchase produce at farmers markets. The correct answer is true. With which program must farmers markets be registered in order to accept WIC vegetable and fruit checks? A. SNAP. B. Eat Smart New York. C. FMNP. Or D. Farm Fresh New York. The correct answer is the FMNP. What do you think would motivate WIC participants to use their WIC vegetable and fruit checks at farmers markets rather than grocery stores? Here are a few ideas of why WIC participants may choose to use their vegetable and fruit checks at local farmers markets. To increase knowledge of the benefits of locally grown produce. They taste better, they're fresher, they contain higher nutrients, they are less expensive, it supports local economy, and to build a connection with farmers. Lastly, WIC consumers may gain tips for preparing and storing local produce that they purchase at the farmers markets. What are the differences between the FMNP that we discussed earlier and the WIC vegetable and fruit program?
One difference between the programs is the list of allowable foods to purchase. Both programs allow fresh produce, but for the FMNP, they must be locally grown and sold by bona fide farmers at authorized markets. In addition, herbs may be purchased with the FMNP. Neither program allows the purchase of baked goods, jams or jellies, processed fruits and vegetables, meat, flowers, or decorative produce such as gourds. With WIC fruit and veg checks, herbs may not be purchased. With FMNP, only potted or dried herbs cannot be purchased. Another difference between the programs is the value of the checks. FMNP offers eligible participants $4 checks that can be used only at farmers markets. WIC Fruit and Veg program provides families with $8, $10, and $15 checks to purchase produce.
There are also differences in the transaction process for both programs. In order to redeem WIC vegetable fruit checks, participants must show WIC ID card at the time of purchase. Then the farmer writes the total purchase amount in order to prevent errors and has the participant sign the check. Checks must only be signed at the time of the transaction. Pre-signed checks will not be accepted. And only one check can be used in each transaction. In order to use the FMNP checks, participants must hand the check to farmer at the time of transaction as if it were cash. Cash will never be given as change. Can you complete this diagram? Please try it yourself before we move on to do it together.
Both may be used at farmers markets. The FMNP checks are worth $4. FMNP checks can only be used for locally grown fresh produce and fresh cut herbs. Participants must show WIC ID at the time of purchase when using WIC vegetable and fruit checks. Both cannot be used for baked goods. For WIC vegetable and fruit program, checks can be worth $8, $10, or $15.
How could you use the information provided in this section to reduce confusion between WIC vegetable fruit checks and FMNP checks? Please write down a few ideas. You could provide more accurate explanations when participants express confusion regarding the FMNP and WIC vegetable fruits program. Or you could create informational posters or flyers to distribute at markets. Finally, you could give a review or brief training to other farmers at a pre-market season meeting. Think about your experience with farmers markets. What groups in your community have limited access to farmers markets? The EBT SNAP program at farmers markets is administered by the Farmers Market Federation of New York, the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets, and the New York State Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance. The SNAP program allows recipients to use their benefits to purchase local products at farmers markets. The benefits are carried on an EBT card, which may be swiped in exchange for tokens to be used as cash at the farmers markets. Tokens are usually worth $1, but there are some worth $5. Pictured is an example of $1 SNAP tokens. What can be purchased with SNAP tokens? Any SNAP eligible item, including but not limited to vegetables and fruits, bread, meat, fish, poultry, dairy products, maple syrup and honey, seeds and plants that produce food, baked goods, jams, sauces, or soups. How to get involved with SNAP. The USDA will provide a free terminal based on eligibility. If farmers are not determined eligible for a free terminal, you may provide your own Android, iPhone, or iPad in order to still participate. Farmers must become a SNAP certified retailer by filling out an online application, then submitting any supporting documentation to the SNAP Retailer Service Center. The address is as listed. SNAP Retailer Service Center, USDA Food and Nutrition Service. P.O. Box 14500 500, Washington, D.C. 20044. Also, farmers must complete an application for World Pay, which is a third-party processor. Also, to determine eligibility,
You may contact the Farmers Market Federation of New York to determine eligibility or for any other assistance at 315-400-1449 or email Diane Eggert at deggert@newyorkfarmersmarket.com. Farmers that are using a token system are required to complete the Farmers Market Participation Agreement found on the website www.newyorkfarmersmarket.com and complete a mandatory webinar training.
the transaction process. In order to use EBT cards, customers will look for a table with a sign that states, "Use your SNAP card here." The card is then swiped and the desired specified dollar amount will be provided in tokens. Customers then use the tokens just as they would cash to buy SNAP-approved products. Tokens must be redeemed at the markets in which they were dispensed, and customers may save tokens to use throughout the season at the same market. The tokens do not have expiration dates. Again, customers may keep tokens for another visit at the same market or turn in any unused tokens to have the face value placed back onto their EBT card. For reimbursement, farmers submit tokens for a check issued by the market manager. Markets incur some cost for each transaction, and these fees may be reimbursed by the Farmers Market Federation of New York. Please take a few minutes to quiz what you have learned so far. True or false? Only vegetables and fruits can be purchased with SNAP benefits at farmers markets. The correct answer is false. What happens if a customer does not use all of the tokens they take out at the market? A. The customer must turn the tokens back in to the market manager. B. The customer may use the leftover tokens at other authorized farmers markets throughout the week. C. The tokens cannot be turned back in. They must be used on the date they are issued. Or D. The customer may turn the tokens back into the market manager to be placed back on their SNAP card, or they may hang on to them for future use at the same market. The correct answer is D. The customer may turn the tokens back in to the market manager to be placed back onto their SNAP card, or they may hang on to them for future use at the same market. In addition to submitting an application on the USDA website, which other organization requires farmers and market managers to fill out a participation agreement for the SNAP EBT program? A. New York State WIC. B. New York State Department of Ag and Markets. C. The Farmers Market Federation of New York. Or D. New York State SNAP. The correct answer is C. The Farmers Market Federation of New York. Please make a list of places in your community that would benefit from education in reference to using SNAP at farmers markets. And please create a list of places within your community that may benefit from promotion of SNAP at farmers markets. Here are a few ideas of places that would benefit from SNAP education and promotion. WIC offices, food pantries, offices for the aging, public health clinics, community events, for example, craft fairs, runs or walks, or health fairs, schools, and farmers markets. Time to test your knowledge. A. Name 2 benefits the FMNP, WIC Vegetable Fruit Program, and EBT SNAP provide to farmers. B. Name 2 benefits the FMNP, WIC Vegetable Fruits Program, and EBT SNAP provide to markets. C. Name 2 benefits the FMNP, WIC Vegetable Fruits Program, and EBT SNAP provide to participants. So what are the benefits of these supplemental programs? Farmers benefit by increasing the number of customers and increasing their revenue. Consumers benefit by increasing their access to local fresh fruits and vegetables, the knowledge of how to prepare fresh produce, and the perceived value of fruits and vegetables in relation to their family's health and nutrition. The market benefits by increasing customers and drawing more farmers, and the community will achieve success by supporting low-income individuals within the community and to help boost the local economy. To review, the FMNP is a farmer development program that provides checks to WIC participants and low-income seniors to use for fresh produce at farmers markets. The WIC VF program issues checks to WIC participants to use for fresh produce at farmers markets or fresh and/or processed vegetables and fruits at grocery stores. Both the FMNP and WIC VF provide checks to eligible participants that can be used to purchase fresh produce at farmers markets. Though both programs are similar in that they help to increase and diversify customers at farmers markets, it is important to remember that these are 2 separate and distinct programs. The EBT SNAP program allows customers to use their SNAP benefits at farmers markets. The FMNP, WIC VF, and EBT SNAP programs increase revenue to farmers, improve the diet and health of participants, help increase the number of farmers markets attendees, and enhance local economies. This visual aid demonstrates the differences and similarities of all 3 nutrition assistance programs. The following is a list of resources used for this presentation and places to find additional information. Thank you.